Let's go to Cassie in Kansas City. Hey, Cassie, what's going on?
Hi, Dr. Delony. Thank you so much for taking my call. I watch all your videos, and you have helped me in many, many areas.
I appreciate that. Those
sure.
can be some, I'm not very good at this, so thanks for being one of the few people that watch those videos. How can I help you? What's going on?
Okay. So my long-term marriage is neurodiverse, which we just found out a few years ago. Our relationship has really passed the stage of resentment, which I know you say once you get there,
it's hard
downhill.
to come back. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have basically just been really good roommates for a while.
Okay. When you say neurodiverse, does he have personality disorders? Does he have autism or a traumatic brain injury? What's he got?
So he is on the spectrum.
Okay. Where?
I mean, if you'll have to forgive me because I'm not familiar with the terminology a ton, but I know Asperger's is the outdated thing, but that's what we were told at the time.
Cool. Hey, everybody's doing the best they can with the tools they got, so you're not going to hear me hating on you. So he's high functioning at this point.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you found this out when, a couple of years ago?
Yes, it's been about 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm.
And what steps have you all taken together? Has he taken? What's the last 4 or 5 years been like?
I can't say they've been easy. They have been. It was rough before that, and if I had to be honest, I would say that the diagnosis was almost more disheartening than it was encouraging.
How come?
Because beforehand, anything that hurt my feelings or I didn't understand, I could blame it on his childhood. On the ACEs score, he's a 6. He didn't have a great one.
Yep.
He was never hugged as a kid. I've never seen his parents hug him to this day.
Sure.
So I thought I could blame it on the fact that he just didn't know better. And I could eventually teach him what I needed. Mm-hmm. But the reality is a lot of those things are because of his Asperger's, because of the autism. And I didn't know that until I could read it, and I could read articles, and then it would just smack me in the face. Oh my gosh, somebody else knows exactly how I've been feeling.
But I know you're hurting. Can I be super honest with you though? And I'm not trying to be mean. Okay.
No, that's okay.
I'm trying to be direct.
I need it.
The way you just phrased that, or the way I heard it, was I would rather him be ignorant or unwilling than to have some biological challenges. And the idea that you cannot teach somebody who's a high-functioning autistic adult ways that they can love you better is inaccurate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Totally you can. And so whether it's childhood trauma, whether it is just knuckleheaded moron idiot dude who's just like, I don't know what, or somebody with some neurological challenges that may not ever connect with your feelings, but knows that these feelings are real and that you are having them, and this is the way that I can best love her in these moments. Man, there's choice and chance all across that thing. So what I hear you saying is, after the last 4 or 5 years, have you given up on him, or has he said,
Absolutely
I'm not trying?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I would say at the beginning, I guess I should have prefaced that with, that's how I feel now looking back at it. At the time, I was like, okay, if I can just explain these things in a different way, something may click. And now I know if you say something hurtful, then it's really not, I need to not take it so personally, and then explain to you why that hurts my feelings.
Yes.
And then maybe it won't happen again, or I can explain to you what I need. And to be 100% honest, I feel like that's That's hard to do.
It is.
That's hard to have to tell somebody how to love you.
It is. It's hard. Yeah. It's real hard. And you want to be able to you want to be able to walk home from work and walk in the door and they look across the room and the music swells and he sees you and he knows what you need, right? I'm being totally honest,
Absolutely.
right? Totally honest. And that's not
Something like that.
in just non-typical neurological families. That's in every marriage I've ever heard in my life, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It is painful and it's exhausting and it feels lonely and hollow, right?
I couldn't have put it in better words. That's for sure how I felt for a very long time.
Okay. So, do you want to stay married? You sound like you're done.
I feel like I wouldn't be calling you if I was done, maybe.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just desperate because I feel like I know we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I know we can do this. And I just don't have the tools to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I reach out to, we've gone to marriage therapy. We've gone to marriage counseling. He's seen a therapist on his own. We have just had bad luck after bad luck as far as that's concerned, to where they're either it's not really their forte. Like they come at our marriage with a neurotypical mindset, and that's not helpful.
Yep.
Or one in particular that we went to see told me that I just needed to learn how to live in an autistic world, and that didn't ring true to my heart either, because the truth is this isn't. Regular life isn't going to change for him, and I don't mind. That sounds horrible.
No, it doesn't at all. And hey,
anyway,
here's the thing. I guess I would refute that. And there can be some autism specialists that can write in. I'd love to be shown I'm wrong here. My experience, which is admittedly limited, is it is equally lonely and hollow living inside an autistic mind. And while they may not be able to experience some of the same experiences that a neurotypical person might, I don't even know what that means anymore, but what you might feel, right? They can experience the joy, the pleasure of knowing that they are caring for somebody in a way that person has asked to be cared for. I've seen it, and it's really remarkable. And I've also worked with folks who have to remember, this is when I make that smile on my face, because that brings joy to the people around me. And this is when I raise my eyebrows and say, wow. But that in and of itself is an expression. That attempt, that try, that leaning into is such a, it's such a powerful expression of love, even though it looks different. Does that make sense? Absolutely. And so I do get 100% that the Hollywood version of this is over, right? And it can be so lonely. And you say all the time, have a funeral for it. Yeah. Believe me, I was already there. I was there when I started listening to you a year ago. Yeah. That I'm never going to have the husband who writes me a love song or does those things, because that's not my husband. Except if you said, once a month, I need you to write me a love poem. And you are allowed to use somebody else's lyrics. And then you would know how non-intuitive that is, how hard that is, what a challenge that will be, and he'll do it anyway. And what you're going to have to do is decide, just because it's on his calendar, it doesn't mean less. And just because he doesn't have long hair like Fabio and he's holding, I can't believe it's not butter, and he's not riding a dragon or whatever, that it's still romantic even though it looks different. Does that make sense? It 100% makes sense. And so it's coming to, and here's the thing, in completely neurotypical couples, the idea of putting sex on a calendar is always this, like, everyone feels like, well, if we have to put it on the calendar, then we shouldn't even be married. And I just call bullcrap on that. If we have to plan dates, they're not really dates. It's stupid. Yes, they are. Does that make sense? None of this looks like Hollywood, right? And so...
no, it has never looked like Hollywood.
It never has.
It never has. And I don't have dreams of it looking like Hollywood.
Oh, I know.
Right now,
I'm speaking to everybody, right? You're way past that. Right. I know. You're way past that here. So sure. Have you sat down, and you may have done this, have you sat down and said, every Sunday night, that will be our planning for the week. And we're going to plan our budget, we're going to plan our calendar, and we're going to plan my needs. Because here's what I'm telling you. If every married couple on planet Earth did this, the world would look very different in a positive direction. If everybody sat down and said, here's what I need right now. Here's what I need this week. Here's the hand motion I need when I am saying something that's hurting your feeling. My wife and I have had these conversations recently because she's going through some shifts that are setting some of my old alarms off in a way we've been together for 25 years. And I didn't know we were there. And I had to say, when I start responding like this, I need you to just reach your arm out and then I'll know. And she's like, got it. And she's done it twice. It's been amazing, right? But it's that, and it feels so un-Jack and Rose, right? Like we saw each other on the Titanic. It's just supposed to be it. It's just not how it's working. So if you had that conversation, would he love you enough to lean into it?
We have had many of those conversations. For an example, our intimacy, there just isn't any anymore.
Okay, but have you said, I need sex 3 times a week and I need it like this? I need dress up night this night. I need music night this night. I need old, boring, married sex on this night. Have you done that?
I have said, I need 10 minutes of your undivided attention every night after the kids go to bed.
Okay. And what is that? Undivided attention is amorphous for me. So have you said, I need 10 minutes of you holding my hand and I want you to take off your shirt and I just want to hug you skin to skin? Or I want you just to listen to me chit chat. Like, what have you been specific? And the reason I'm saying that is that I've had to do that in my own marriage. Every couple I work with has to end up there in their own marriages. And I'm trying to tell you, you're not crazy, but it is going to take a heightened level of, and I'm not trying to say that your marriage is typical. It's not. You've got some deep challenges in this thing, but you're going to have to get that specific. And that specificity can become really erotic and really fun and really directive. Does that make sense?
It does.
Am I crazy?
You're not crazy. For me, I thought, for months I just need a deeper connection with you. I just want me and you to have a relationship again. I just want to check in. How are you doing? How am I doing? How are you feeling? What's going on in your world? I wanted that. And then that didn't work out very well. So then it got to just come and let's talk for 10 minutes. And apparently what I hear you saying is I need to be even more specific than give me 10 minutes of your time each night.
When you say that to me as a husband, I don't know what that means. Like, is that chit chat time? Do you want us to go French kiss for a while? Do you want me just to sit there and nod? Do you want me to fix? I don't know what that means. I think there's a scenario here where you could have a blast coming up with a weekly marriage worksheet that your autistic husband is going to check off. How is your day today? Did you have mostly positive things happen at work? Did you have negative things happen at work? What made you sad? What made you experience joy? And y'all check this worksheet off together. Is that ridiculous? Yes. Is that intimate? Yes. And so what I'm telling you is and that's why I asked, are you done? Because what it feels like is that level of intentionality how long have y'all been married?
16 years.
There you go. Every 16-year-old marriage I know is in this boat. Not as deep as yours. Yours is unique. Hear me say that. But every 16-year-old marriage I know of starts speaking in, I just miss the old us, or we just aren't having sex like we used to, or the kids are, and it becomes this speaking in generalities in these big grandiose pictures, and everybody starts, you've heard me say this over and over, I'll say it again, we think in pictures, but we speak in words. And so when you say, I just need 10 minutes of your undivided attention, he has a picture in his head of what that looks like. And you do too, and you're missing each other because your pictures are different. You're both using the same words, and he thinks he's doing right. Or when you say, I need sex this week, he says, great. And his picture is 6 minutes, and we're done. And your picture is, I just need some glass of wine and the music. I need the kids to disappear, and I need it to be like we were dating again. Right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And so it's that level of, it's not less romantic. And in fact, if you can get into the head part of this, the desire and the eroticism part of this, and let your head go crazy about the guy that you love, it can be real fun. And you can begin to practice desire with specificity. And you can practice desire with explicit, here's what I need. Here is what connection looks like. And I haven't admittedly, I haven't worked with a ton of folks with autism, but the high functioning adult autistic folks that I've had a chance to work with love that level of specificity. And the guys I've been around, the men and women I've been around, are all in, right? Because they want so badly to connect. And I would really recommend you give that a shot. High levels of specificity. Say, beginning this week, we have a Sunday night meeting, you and me. No kids, they're off, whatever. And we're going to plan the week. We're going to plan love. We're going to plan budget. We're going to plan, calendars. And we're going to start from there. And then start being as specific as possible. And if you can co-create a worksheet together, co-create the calendar together and say, these 2 nights are sex nights. This night is hugging night. And I want 30 minutes of hugging, and I want you to wear these clothes. Yeah, I know it's different. It's never been in a Hollywood movie. Maybe it has, I don't know. And here's the other thing. He can learn forgiveness and grace, and he can learn not record keeping of all your faults, which I know that can be a challenge in these type of relationships. He can practice self-awareness. He can practice being quiet, practice asking kind questions. So maybe on a worksheet you say, ask me 3 questions about my day. And again, you're teaching. And is that your job? No. But is that going to help bring you all together? Yes. He can learn to be gentle with the truth, right? He can, and when I say that, he can say, is that what you're wearing? Versus a very direct, ugly comment about your, right? All those things starts with you being really intentional. And here's what I want to tell you. If you feel, you started this call saying, man, we've been in resentment a long time. The way out of resentment is an all-in, I'm doubling down with intentionality. That's the only way out. I'm going to be hyper intentional. And I think you can do it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to have this meeting with him and let him speak into it. I don't know a lot of people who, once they say, hey, let's put this stuff on the calendar, that want to push back. Hopefully he wants to be all in too. I want you to have this meeting, and then I want you to write me back. Let me know how that meeting went. And we'll be thinking about you along the way. Get 2 or 3 or 4 Sunday nights into this deal, and let me know if things have changed. Because my gut tells me it can. But it does mean you're going to have to be super specific. And you may need to go see somebody to talk about your loneliness, your anger, this looks so different. But you said you've already had the funerals for what was, and now it's time to plan for what could be. And I know I'm high optimistic on this one. I am. Double down on intentionality and specificity, and let's see what happens next.